Alright, so today, guys, we'll be reacting to this video, actually was posted by Speak. And it's titled, Can Joe Burrow Dethrone Patrick Mahomes? Okay, I'm going to offend so many Chiefs fans in this video, so I just want to tell you now, Chiefs fans, hold this L. Second off, the season is, preseason 2 weeks away, so once the season kicks off, we can stop talking about the Chiefs. We can stop talking about, anything related to the Chiefs. And we start talking about actual, football. But we're still in the off season. We're still in July. So I appreciate you guys sticking by and watching the content. Even though, right now it's kind of dead. Because football, we're before training camp. And we're after all the good stuff happens, right? So let's go ahead. I have to put this up so that they don't take down my video. You already know. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they're trying to stay near the top of the AFC. Well, former Bengal Boomer Esiason said, quote, I know people say that he's the second best quarterback in the league. I think he's pressing Patrick Mahomes for that title of the best. Patrick Mahomes has done a lot. 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs, and only, I believe, 5 going on 6 years.
Come on, he got them, come on.
He got them rings and things. Shady won a ring with Patrick Mahomes. Slick, I don't know if you were born in Cincinnati, but you were.
Born and raised.
He's born in the
and
Natty.
raised.
Shout out to my boy Adrian Bronner. He's a Natty dude also. He talks about the Natty all the time.
Born in the Natty. So, Slick, rep the Natty then. Did Joe Burrow dethrone Mahomes?
Hell yeah, he can dethrone Patrick Mahomes. Now, I understand. This reminds me a lot of the Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady conversation. If you want to say pound for pound that Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback and Joe Burrow might not be able to pass him in terms of just a pure quarterback, I'm not going to argue with that, and I'm not going to argue with the fact that Patrick Mahomes owns the throne right now. I'm not with Boomer in suggesting that, hey, he's a little bit closer, right? It's not close. There's Patrick Mahomes, and then there's Joe Burrow. But if you're asking me, can Joe Burrow dethrone Patrick Mahomes? Well, there's no question in my mind that he can.
Give me a why.
He was.
Why? Give me a why.
Well, number
with some
one,
reason.
to your point, he already has.
And what?
He's already beaten him in the AFC Conference Championship. He's already gotten past him directly to get to the Super Bowl. So he's demonstrated that capability. 2, we're looking at this last year, which I think is when we really placed Patrick Mahomes on that throne. What he did this past year, right? Wins MVP, wins the Super Bowl.
I think another thing that people don't talk about enough is the fact that Joe Burrow got drafted first pick overall. And you know what that means? He went to the worst team in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes got picked, what was it, 15, 13, 15, whatever. They traded up to get him. He went to a team that was 12-4 the year before they drafted him. There was a playoff team. So, and had Tyreek Hill. And had Travis Kelce. Let this sink in. Worst team in the league, Joe Burrow took over. With one of the worst offensive lines in the game. Patrick Mahomes. One of the greatest head coaches of all time. Great offensive line. Star playmakers. Yes, don't get me wrong. T and Tyler Boyd were both on the squad when Joe was drafted. But the line sucked. So, yes, right now, Patrick has all these accomplishments, all these great things. But guess what? Joe just got started. And Joe was hurt for a year. Patrick sat out for a year, or didn't sit out. He didn't play for a year because he was, he didn't play till the last game of the season. While Joe Burrow was hurt. So, Joe is what, a year, 2 years behind Patrick? Like, actually playing time, I mean. Don't worry. When it rains, it pours.
Goes to the top.
No Tyreek Hill, all that.
And this, right. Talk about that too, though.
Joe Burrow missed most of training camp this year. Because
something like that.
of appendicitis. Had to have his appendix removed. And yet he still ended up finishing 4th in MVP. right?
With no
and going to the. I don't know that you needed. I don't know that you needed an appendix to do that.
to do that.
He got players, though.
He clearly was not the same quarterback coming into the season, and yet he found his way to still getting the Bengals there. So, the idea, like, if Joe Burrow and the Bengals, which I think is possible, Joe Burrow winning MVP this year and winning a Super Bowl, if he does that, he is now the quarterback to beat.
He can
right?
I disagree. Shady, let me throw you a
This is why I absolutely hate this argument. So if Burrow wins MVP and a Super Bowl, what that means is that the only thing Mahomes has over Burrow is, what, one more MVP and one more Super Bowl. And he's still 3-1 against Burrow, and against Mahomes. And if he wins this year, he'll be 4-1 against Mahomes. And if he beats him in the playoffs to get to a Super Bowl, he's 5-1 against Mahomes. So this is such a stupid argument that it's like no matter what Burrow does, he can never surpass Mahomes. But I always say it's 1A, 1B. Mahomes and Burrow, it's like one more Super Bowl, you're a tad bit higher, but it's pretty much even at this point. Come on now.
oop, Shady. Let me throw you a oop.
I'm going to dunk them.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do with that oop? Boop, boop.
That's an inside joke. Watch yesterday's show and you'll get it. I don't think Joe Burrow can dethrone Patrick Mahomes. The only thing he can do this season, stay in the conversation with.
Right.
Like Patrick Mahomes is starting to leave Joe Burrow in the conversation. A year ago this time, I was uttering what you were uttering. At the time, Patrick Mahomes had one MVP. He had one Super Bowl win. He had been to two. Joe Burrow had just beaten Patrick Mahomes, had just gone to the Super Bowl, had lost. But remember, that Rams team was loaded, particularly defensively. Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. I'm chilling. Joe Burrow, you in the combo. But then Patrick Mahomes got another one. Now we got two Super Bowls, two MVPs, two regular season MVPs. Joe Burrow still ain't got none. Joe Burrow ain't got no All-Pros. I'm like, uh-oh. If Mahomes goes and gets a third, if Mahomes goes and gets a third before Burrow gets one, the only thing Burrow can do, Shady, is stay in the conversation and clutch to the hem of Patrick Mahomes' garments and just hope that Mahomes don't leave him in the dialogue.
First of all, every other quarterback, they're playing for second place. We got to stop doing this, right? And I'm guilty of it because I've been in that same thing for the last 2 years, right? It's Patrick Mahomes.
Understood.
And everybody else. We got to put that whole line in there. Like, we got to give him that respect. That it's his league. It's his league, bro. And talk about quarterbacks, he's the main guy. In the last 5 years, they've been in what? Either an AFC game or they've been to the Super Bowl. Come on. He's running the show. We seeing the old Brady back again. He back on that Brady time. So, unless we argue him with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, we need to leave all quarterbacks. All quarterbacks, no more conversation. It's Patrick Mahomes and everybody else. There's no dethroning.
Hold on.
The man now has 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs.
2 of them.
What are we talking about? And he's still running. And the best part about this whole thing is, I love Joe Burrow. I think he's a hell of a player.
Beast.
He has a lot of great weapons with him.
He does.
Patrick Mahomes, I was even in doubt. I played with the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill left.
But again, if Burrow gets a Super Bowl and an MVP, then he's just one MVP and Super Bowl away from being tied with Mahomes with a better record head-to-head. This is the argument I don't understand it from Chiefs fans and from some NFL fans in general. It's like, how are you saying that he can never be better than him if he gets the same accomplishment and he gets more? Let's say Burrow wins 3 Super Bowls. Okay, then he's better. He dethroned him, right? He's the guy. He is the king. It's just such a stupid argument because, and I get why Shady's saying this because Shady played for the Chiefs, but it's like, listen, it doesn't make any sense that saying, well, obviously this season, right? This season, if Joe goes and wins a Super Bowl, an MVP, you know, I will say he's better, and I'll still say he's better right now. But the general public, the general consensus will still be Patrick's better because he has 2, because he has 2 of each. But to say he can never be better, it's just such an idiotic comment. I just don't understand. I mean, I understand because they're sports commentators and their brains are already small, but come on now.
They're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
and they win another one though. Against the Eagles, not just anybody.
Not just
the
anybody.
Eagles.
Not just
His
anybody.
#1 receiver was Juju Schuster.
His
Boy.
one receiver was Travis Kelce.
I mean, no, Travis is a tight end. It's a difference. Travis is that guy, but he is a difference. So all I'm saying is this: to win a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill.
I also hate that argument so much. The best receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster. First off, they have Travis Kelce. I don't care that he's a tight end. He's pretty much a glorified receiver. The way they use him, they don't use him in a blocking sense. They use him as a receiver. He's a receiver. So their best receiver is one of the best in the NFL. Don't even try to play, well, he's a tight end. No, he's a receiver. He just is a tight end position.
Come on, bro.
You know, I wanted to get up on this segment because I didn't want to be a part of this. But we are saying, can he overthrown, correct? You're not going to overthrow nobody in one
In 1 year, right?
That's just not going to happen, especially what Patty Mahomes has done. But I love live TV because, you know, when you hear people talk, it changes your mind a little.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I was on the no. He's not going to overthrow.
Oh, you on the hell no now? He on the hell no now. Okay, I got you.
Now we talking, and I'm like, hold on, we talking about can he overthrow? Head to head, he's beaten 3-1, right?
Okay.
That's head to head. That's where you got to go to first, right? Head to head. So ain't no fear. It ain't like he ain't got over that hump to where he can't beat him, right? It really was Patrick Mahomes trying to get over that hump to beat Joe Burrow last year, right? Then number 2, you are the #1 pick.
He said that himself. Patrick Mahomes said that to himself. That he wanted to play us. He didn't want to play the Bills because he wanted to finally beat us and shut us up. So, in all context purposes, he actually said he wanted to beat us. Which, yes, he did one time. Congratulations.
Which means you're going where?
To the worst team.
To the worst team.
That is.
So for me, the only reason why I say I feel like Joe Burrow has a chance. Has a chance to overthrow Patty Mahomes is because it's not too many people that just have that it factor. I don't care what position.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Patty Mahomes has that it factor.
Got it.
What does
Hold on. He came in to the worst team in football. And the second year you are in the Super Bowl.
That's hard to do, Shady. That's hard to do.
And then the next year you are in the AFC Championship.
Good point, so Shady.
So
he's made great points.
No, where I'm going is it's not gonna happen overnight. But if it is anybody in this league right now that can do it, from what we have seen with our own 2 eyes come in there and change the worst football team into one of the best football teams, is Joe.
And not only that, he got to that Super Bowl, keep in mind, with an awful offensive line. Awful offensive line. So that's another thing to take into consideration. He didn't get there with a Patrick Mahomes offensive line. Whoa, no. If he had a Patrick Mahomes offensive line, which ranked one of the best last year, I think that was kind of a dumb question at the end, not gonna lie to you. He's saying if he would have beat him head-to-head in that championship, and they obviously 4-0 against Mahomes, went to the Super Bowl but still lost, obviously Mahomes still has a Super Bowl and 2 MVPs. So at the end of the day, if you're just counting, stats and awards, then Mahomes would be better. I mean, listen, it's an age-old argument that's going to be forever and ever until the end of this year, when Joe is holding up that Lombardi. Joe has the MVP award, and we can finally put this to bed and put this case to rest. He won't be able to dethrone, as they say, Mahomes this year. He won't. At the end of the day, like they said in this video, he's still going to be 1 Super Bowl, 1 MVP award behind. Who Dat Nation? Who Dey Nation? Not Who Dat. I don't want to say Who Dat. Who Dey Nation knows who's the best. We already know. That wrong way. We already know who the best quarterback in the game is. Okay? We already know. There's no point to, again, at the end of the day, Mahomes always going to be more popular than Burrow, right? Everyone loves Mahomes. He's the cover. He's the NFL baby, right? The NFL loves him. Roger Goodell loves him. Roger Goodell's literally a Chiefs fan. And we're gonna have to fight hard to earn the respect of the NFL. But you know what? We don't really need the respect of the NFL. At the end of the day, again, we know who's better. It's number 9. Joey B. Always getting the job done. 3-1. But again, smack talk aside, we'll figure this out week 17 when we become 4-1. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I just want to react to this today because I thought it was pretty funny. Especially, you know, some of these analysts, like LaShawn McCoy just cracks me up because he has like a very one-sided mind. Like he has opinion and he doesn't go off of it, right? While the other guys are kind of more logical, so always funny to kind of see the different viewpoints. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.